Sleep is the golden chain that ties body and health together. Welcome to Hope, honoring ourselves purposefully every day. Today I have some special guests and we're really excited to hear from both of them. Some really important topics. Lana Walsh, who is going to talk to us about and teach us about sleep and insomnia, or lack of it, and Alan Saby, who is a nutritionalist. Is that what you are? What do you call yourself?
I call myself a nutritional chef. But
and a chef. Yeah, you're a chef.
That's right, yeah.
Where are you?
I have a commercial kitchen actually inside the Purple Carrot. So at the back of the health food store, the Purple Carrot, they got a new location last year, and I built a commercial kitchen in there.
Wow.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. So we're going to turn to Lana first. Welcome, Lana.
Thank you for having me. Excited to be here.
And we want to know everything you know about this topic of sleep. My goodness, so many people deal with insomnia, don't they? I bet you find that as you're a coach.
I am a coach. I help people with insomnia. Experts think it's around 30 to 35% of people suffer with insomnia, but I'm finding as I'm out in businesses, I go to businesses and speak, and I get them to do the Insomnia Severity Index survey, and I'm finding much higher numbers are coming out of that survey.
Right.
One company had 72% of their staff on the insomnia scale. So, but you know, it's misunderstood and underdiagnosed. So to say 30 to 35% is just a guess, a shot in the dark. We really don't know.
Right. So ideally, let's go to sleep and the stages of sleep. I'm always interested in that. We were talking earlier about your iPhone, what are they called? Smartwatches?
Apple Watch.
Apple Watches.
Smartwatch, yeah.
And they can track what sleep you're in, what level of sleep you are in. And I used to think REM sleep was the healthy sleep, but I hear there's a deeper sleep. So teach us about that, please.
Yeah, so first of all, there are 5 stages of sleep. The first stage of sleep is not a real sleep stage, it's that pre-sleep stage. It's like what happens when you're nodding off and you kind of in and out of sleep. That's stage 1. Stage 2 is the first real stage of sleep, and that's when you start to lose consciousness and you're no longer aware of what's going on around you. But it's light sleep, so you can be more easily woken from that sleep. That sleep stage makes up about half of your night. Then the next 2 stages, 3 and 4, make up deep sleep. And deep sleep is where the most important work happens. This is where everything slows down completely. Brainwave, heart rate, muscle tension, everything reaches its lowest point, and that's when the healing happens.
Cells are healing at that
Cells
time.
are healing. We have more white blood cells, immune system is boosted, stress levels go down, healing happens, muscles are replenished and what's the word? So
cleansed, healed?
Healed, yeah, exactly. So that's when our muscles start to heal as well.
Yeah.
So when we've put them under stress. And then the 5th stage of sleep is REM, the rapid eye movement stage. This is what most people consider dream sleep. We tend to do most of our dreaming during that stage of sleep. But that stage of sleep is important for memory. So what happens during that stage of sleep is our brain filters through all the information we've collected through the day, decides what's important, and then stores it into long-term memory. And it's really good for if you're trying to learn some sort of procedure, like when you first learn to drive a car, or how to shoot a gun, or I don't know why I use that example. Some sort of procedural idea.
Yeah.
That's when we really start to learn and store it into memory, so it becomes an automatic habit.
So it's ideal to have a certain amount of sleep in each area.
Right, so your deep sleep makes up anywhere from 13 to 21% of the night. The thing with deep sleep is it declines with age. So the older we get, the less deep sleep we get. And that makes our sleep lighter and more easily disrupted, which is why, older people tend to have shorter sleep nights of sleep, and we're tired throughout the day. REM sleep makes up about 20% of the night as well. So you'll notice anybody doing the math out there, there's 10% missing in my formula. 10% of the night, good sleepers are awake anywhere from 5 to 10% of the night that they spend in bed. So we normally naturally wake up at the end of a sleep cycle. So we cycle through stages 2 through 5 throughout the night in about 90 minutes to 2 hours. And at the end of each sleep cycle, we wake briefly. For most people, they don't remember waking up. And for some people, they do. Like for me, I wake up, I roll over, I make sure the covers are all normal, and then I go back to sleep. So we naturally wake up every time we go through a sleep cycle.
So my son and his wife, they have 2 babies and another baby on the way, and he has an Apple Watch. They both do. And they're getting about 20 minutes to 50 minutes a night of deep sleep.
Right.
Is that probably because they're just not getting enough sleep, and so that's the percentage for the sleep that they're getting?
Yeah, okay, so there's a couple of things. First of all, your smartwatch is not 100%
Completely accurate,
right? The only way to know which stage of sleep you're in is to actually be hooked up to a brainwave machine, and I can't remember what they're called right now. So that's the first thing to note. The second thing to note is if you have disrupted sleep, like if you have something like insomnia or the kids are waking you up because they need you, you're less likely to get into some of those deep phases of sleep because you're more alert to listening for the babies to wake you up so you can be ready to go help them if you need. So that's kind of why especially new parents have so much more difficulty sleeping. Not only is the baby waking up, but they're also listening. So that part of their brain that is always on alert to listen. So that makes it more difficult to fall into deep sleep, because when you're in deep sleep, it's really hard to be woken from. For example, have you ever taken a kid out of the back seat of the car and you can throw them around like a rag doll and they never wake up?
Right.
That's deep sleep.
Yeah, that's deep sleep. Okay, well, I used to have trouble sleeping, and I started to listen to frequency music. And so I have that playing through the night, and I sleep well now. So is there an explanation for that?
Yeah.
I kind of know it, but you tell me.
Yeah, well, okay, so when you have trouble sleeping, like I said, you're a little bit more on alert. There's a part of your brain that sort of stays a bit more alert because you're more afraid of something happening that you don't hear and don't protect yourself from.
Right.
So you stay a little bit more alert. So you're more easily woken by sounds. So by having some sort of sound machine that plays
White noise, pink noise, or brown noise, or
whatever, helps calm the brain, but also masks any of those noises that could be causing you to wake up. So it's very effective, especially with calming down your brainwave patterns to get you into the different sleep stages. Yeah.
Okay, so insomnia. What causes insomnia? What are some of the causes and some of the ways to
So
cure those?
first of all, insomnia is just basically taking an hour or more to go to sleep or to go back to sleep
That's
after
what
waking.
insomnia is considered.
That is what's
If it
considered
takes you-
insomnia.
Okay, that's a symptom.
So if you're awake, tossing and turning, can't go to sleep for an hour, or you wake up in the night, same thing, then that's insomnia. Doesn't mean you have a problem with insomnia that you need to see a specialist like me if you just have 1 or 2 nights like that. Typical cause of insomnia, stress. Whether that's physical stress or psychological stress. For the most of us, it's psychological stress. 99.9% of stress today is psychological. That's the most common cause. Now, when you struggle to sleep over and over and over again for weeks or months on end, for a lot of people, they start to get frustrated and anxious, and then they start to anticipate not sleeping. And that adds to the problem of not sleeping. So then because they're exhausted all the time, they start to engage in behaviors and habits
Exactly, a vicious cycle.
that contribute to insomnia, but they help them get through the day. And so then that becomes this chronic problem where your chronic insomnia is 3 or more nights a week it's happening, and it's been going on for more than a few months. That's when it falls under the chronic diagnosis. And if you start to perceive a detrimental consequence to your insomnia, like you start to feel irritable, anxious, stressed, frustrated, lack focus, lack motivation, unproductive, those things, That's the clinical diagnosis of insomnia. And so what's happening is this anticipation, these habits, and all of these things that are going on that are contributing to your insomnia become a learned behavior. And your subconscious brain just does it automatically. So it automatically starts waking you up at night or keeping you awake at night. And it's because it's a learned behavior, it means that it can be unlearned. And you can relearn how to sleep through the night. And that's what I do to help my clients, is I help them reprogram that subconscious behavior and habits so that they can sleep through the night successfully.
When I was listening to your talk, whenever I hear beliefs, I'm right away, because I know the subconscious and what chaos it can cause.
Right.
And keep us in patterns that are really self-sabotaging and unhealthy. And so you talked a little bit about the subconscious. And so what part do you feel plays? What does the subconscious and beliefs play, in your opinion?
Yeah, well, I think the biggest thing I hear from clients is their stress about their sleep. They are thinking about sleep all day long.
So if I have to be up at 5 o'clock in the morning,
yes,
and it's already 2 and I can't
yes,
sleep, and then I just keep
and get
so
more
that you're
anxious.
talking about just beliefs that we have around sleep.
Yeah, so I actually have a survey that I do with my clients when they first meet with me, and it's the beliefs and attitudes about sleep. So it asks questions like, how much sleep do you need? Do you believe you need a pill to sleep? Is like it's all these attitudes and beliefs that we have about sleep, and a lot of it comes from the media, right? You know, like we need at least 8 hours of sleep per night, and if we don't get it, that accumulates into a sleep debt that you need to make up, and all these things that we believe about sleep, and then it makes us more anxious about our sleep. And so what happens, you know, when you're talking 2 a.m., you're looking at the clock, and oh my God, if I go to sleep right now, I still get 3 more hours of sleep. And then you toss and turn, and oh my God, I have to go to sleep right now to get 2 more hours of sleep, right? We fear the alarm clock. It's just, it snowballs into this anxious, frustrating thing. And that's one of the biggest things I hear from my clients. They just get anxious about their sleep. They're so stressed.
So then we have anxiety and stress compounding.
Exactly. Yeah.
Wow. And so tell us, what, if somebody wanted to come and see you, had a problem, what you would be able to do for them? What process would they go through?
Yeah, well, I start everybody off with a 1-hour free consult where I meet with them to find out exactly what's going on with them. I mean, if they have something going on that I know I can't help with, I will recommend that they do that. But so yeah, I meet with them for an hour. I go through the beliefs and attitudes survey because it really tells me a lot about what I need to work on with them. And we talk about their sleep. One thing that I found is 60% of people are never asked about the quality of their sleep by their doctor. So some of these people have never talked to anybody about their sleep. Yeah. And so I like to reassure them that what they're going through is normal, really, because I've been there. Yeah, I've been there, I've done it. I know exactly what's happening with them. Right. So once that happens and they're, you know, the right client for me and they want to work with me, then I take them through a step-by-step process. And that's what the research has found, that if you follow a step-by-step process where you educate them about their sleep, you implement specific tactics and strategies, and you work on reducing stress and anxiety and relaxing, when you follow that step-by-step, it works very effectively and very quickly.
Wow.
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay. And so to bring you in here, how does nutrition affect us when it comes to sleep?
Well, it depends on.
I know you talk about it.
It's
too, trying to bring him in. He's sitting quietly.
It's always fascinating to me to learn, for sure. And Lana knows what she's talking about. I've never had trouble sleeping. I've never had problem sleeping. It's really fortunate that way. But a lot of times that I have had bad nights, not only is it due to stress, and stress is basically, cortisol is basically sugar. And so when I did have a little bit of period of my time when I was type 2 diabetic and really sick, having a little bit of trouble sleeping, you know, high blood sugars before you go to bed have everything to do with it, because as they drop overnight, your energy systems fail. and you need sugar, and you wake up and you're hungry and your body wakes up to be like, we haven't got the ability to burn our fat overnight. Your insulin crashes and people wake up and they tell me all the time they need a sandwich or an orange or some fruit or sugar, and then you know, or if they tell me I eat really late at night because if I don't I can't sleep, then eating shouldn't make us tired. I mean, that's a really bad sign. So balanced nutrition, and we always talk about not eating 2 to 3 hours before you go to bed, and to help your sleep. But that doesn't able to overcome any psychological issues you might have.
So no popcorn at the movie.
No, well, I mean, you can do it every now and again if you sleep well, I guess. But there's a huge metabolic advantage to not eating before we go to bed.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, so we're going to come back to you. We're going to take a little
Thanks
break.
for the warning.
Thank you, Lana.
Thank you
for that information. And we, at the end of the show, we'll have links on how any of you can contact you and connect with you and learn more of this valuable information around sleep. The best bridge between despair and hope is a good night's sleep.